So this is the euro dollar analysis for Thursday the 9th of November. Now let's have a look what happened with prices on the 8th of November. We're just going to grab a pen, and this is the 8th of November, so everything to the right of that line there. So on the 8th of November we've been in a very tight range. The lower end of the range being about 1580, and the upper end of the range being about 1612. As you can see, very tight. 1612 has proven to be it's proven to be pretty strong resistance at present. We've not revisited 1560 as we have consolidated beneath this 1612. Now, where do we expect prices to go? As the overall trend on the higher time frames does appear to be the downside, and we're still operating in the shadow of a dovish ECB, we're expecting prices to move all the way down to 115. Our unwillingness to go down there at present has proved somewhat problematic, but as 1612 has held on several occasions now, we are expecting possibly another retest before we do break below these lows of 1560 and head towards the 115 round number. Now I am just going to scale this. There we are. So let's just zoom out a bit here. Okay, so we've got this lighter blue line just here. That's pretty much the low after we had the ECB press conference and interest rate decision, all the way down to 1576. Earlier on the 8th, we have not closed below probably say 1580, and we've got these most recent lows in on the 7th. So we haven't revisited these lows as of yet, but we do look poised to head down there as price action does seem to have turned around. We've had a high in and around that 116.12 test, and we seem to have had a lower high just over here. Let's get the scale on here correct. So just over here on the charts, we do appear to have had we're outside the most volatile market of is the European and the US session, but we do appear to be putting a bit of a lower high, so we are expecting prices to retrace further downwards. Now let's look at targets. So we had 115 to the downside. That's our medium term target. To the upside, however, we have got to first clear 116.12. If we do get several retests of it and we do not revisit these lows, we pretty much could expect probably a further retracement to the upside, especially if we don't revisit the lows in around this 115.60 and 115.80. The longer we don't revisit those lows and the more we test these this resistance up here, the more likely we are to see a break of it. That's what I found in the past. Now, if we do break above to the upside, the next potential target I'll be looking for before this 117.10 is possibly around well, the next level appears to be in around 1680 to 1710. In around this zone just here, we do expect to see some reaction in between the 1680 and 1710. So if we do see prices go up there, we're looking for potential sell zones for a retest back down to 1612. Unless there's a fundamental catalyst, I can't anticipate prices moving up to this 1771 level or below 115. So overall, those are our targets. So we're just going to have a look at the daily time frame and the weekly before we wrap up here. So on the daily time frame, let's just see where we are. So on the daily time frame, the only change that we've seen so far is we had this bit of a range just here, and we do appear to have closed beneath that range, and we do seem there hasn't been much momentum to the downside as of yet. The candles are pretty small, so we are expecting to see further. We'll have to see more significant candles heading to the downside before we're confident for our test down at 115. At present, there does seem to be a degree of indecisiveness in the market, as we have not seen a much follow through from the initial bearishness from the news related candles. So we had a bit of consolidation here. We're expecting to see a break and further strong momentum taking us down to 115 in a short period of time, but we've not seen that so far, so we have to be patient at present until we see possibly a turnaround and a break above that 116.12 before possibly moving, retracing greatly, well, a stronger retracement up to that 1710 level, where before we look for another selling opportunity overall on the euro dollar. So we're just going to have a look at the weekly time frame before wrapping up here. So we're going over to the weekly time frame, and over to this weekly time frame, there's nothing of significance apart from what we've mentioned a few analysis videos now. The significance of the news-related candle in around the ECB and Mario Draghi press conference. We've just a black triangle above it here on the weekly time frame. We're below the 200 period moving average, below the 20 period moving average. So far, we haven't seen prices develop much to the downside. So far this week, we have had some bearish momentum, but not much by any stretch. We're still let's see where we are. We've had the lows of, let's just see where the weekly lows were for the news-related candle. That was all the way down at 1574, and presently we're actually above that. So we've breached the lows of that 1574, but we've not closed below it at present. So we do remain a bit cautious, expecting we might see further retracement before we do break below it and head towards that 115 level. So that should wrap up the euro-dollar analysis. So before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.